Hello, Andrzej. Nice to see you. Do you hear me? Because I don't hear you, unfortunately. Oh, no?
Because I hear you very well.
Oh, perfect. And now I can hear you also. Andrzej, I'm really glad that you make it to join us, because I really love, as I said, I really love data, because data don't lie. And you have multiple data connected with gender equality or inequality. So if I ask you the question, where do you see, as an economist, where do you see gender inequalities on a general economic perspective? And I know that the question is very wide, so please focus on the main areas from your perspective.
So your experience are, I'm afraid, quite common, because mostly those differences between men and women are becoming from having the child. So when in a family we get the first child, we have such a situation which we call in economic languages as a penalty, child penalty. It means that most of the women, after born the first child, gets less salary than the same man on the same stages in the companies. That those differences are around 20%. So it's quite high. Those are the numbers from the Ministry of Finance, is coming from our taxes reports. So it's aggregated data from the whole economy, and it's well measured. And I'm afraid it happens still right now, also at the times when our number of born childs in our country are going rapidly down, and at the same time we have that the same inequalities on the labor market because of the situation. So it's not only about the hard reality, but also about some stereotypes. So lots of those young women which do not have any child and any ideas to have them, they are also on the same page, because lots of boss chiefs, some owners of companies are thinking that they are potential in the future. Maybe they are becoming some, in some cases, mothers, and that will have an impact on their careers and their work. So this is some kind of stereotype which has an impact on the salaries, and that situation that we do not have the equal pay on our Polish market.
So equal pay, for sure, yeah, and this is also, for me, a foundation for gender equality. But what about not only work, but what about our houses? Because I also say that equality starts at home and transfers to work. So what about equality at home?
Yeah, there are also a lot of surveys which shows that men are not so responsible for the all of those activities at homes. And for example, when we are talking about sick leaves for the childs who are currently sick and they cannot go to the school or the kindergarten, those numbers shows that 3 times more women take care about those childs than men. And when we are thinking about some promotions in the companies, so lots of bosses decide to promote those people who are still at the workplace. They are not getting some free time during the work. So if we have some people who are getting sick leaves more than the others, so their chance for the promotion are also lower. At the same time, when we compare our country to the other EU countries, there are some data from the Eurostat from 2019, which shows that only 7% of Polish parents are feeling that they are safe when they are taking sick leaves for their sick child. Only Malta has, only Cyprus has a lower percentage point than Poland. So something happened also in our mentality when we are thinking about taking care about our child, because we are afraid of our career, of our jobs. And also, this is a matter of salaries because on the sick leaves we get only 80% of our salaries. So all of those things are quite connected.
Quite connected with money again. So please tell us your perspective, of course. Does equality pay off? Why should we strive for equality from an
You
economic
know,
point of view?
it's very important because when we are thinking about the future, also from the demographical point of view, we can imagine such scenarios which is based on data also. That will be decreasing number of people on our labor market. In 2035, we will have um more than 2 million less people on the labor market than we compare to current times. So we have to do everything to activate all of those people who are outside of the labor market. And mostly those people who are inactive right now, they are women. Lots of those women stay in their homes. They care about taking care about their childs, about their parents, which are adult or sick people or some kind of disabled people also. So lots of those situations when we are thinking about the future, about the labor shortages, about the lack of the workers, we need to understand that we need to find some solution to activate all of those women. And without equal salaries, it will be very harmful, and especially when we are talking about the part-time jobs also, because on our labor market, only 6% of the employees working on a part-time job contracts. So this is one of the less percentage point in the EU. And when we are thinking about the activate those people, we should give them opportunity not only work, 40 hour per week, but also sometimes for the half time of the normal job contract. And we need to also think about not only about only salaries, but also that period of time when we want to activate those people to engage them on the labor market also.
So gender equality pays off, but is it possible to get there faster than 134 years or 60 years now for Poland? What do you think?
I hope yes, and I believe that the main solution for that is to find some I don't know, maybe some magical touch to activate all of those young parents, especially fathers, to take care about their young kids on that first period after those children are born, because that first year mainly right now women stay at home with those kids. They are working with those childs, and it has a huge impact on their career, on the economy, on their also mental condition. And at the same time, fathers spend much more time in their work because they need to earn much more money. And this is the main reason why we have the gender gap after having a new child in our family. And we need to understand when we split and there is paternity leave for the equal parts for father and for mom. It's solve some problems because all of those stereotypes wouldn't be so hurtful because it will spread on the two parents. And lots of analysis from the Scandinavian countries shows us that the results of such experiments and the changing of law, mm, that gender pay gap are getting lower after splitting the paternity vacation and that time of spending with child at home. When we spread it, that impact on those inequalities are much smaller.
That's true. I have two children, and I'm really, really afraid to have another one. simply because I'm afraid of losing my job again. Yeah, I lost my job. I was fired after having my first child, and after second child, I lost my company that I started not to be fired again, but having two children and moving to from Poznan to Warsaw. There were so many changes. I couldn't find a nanny. I couldn't find a good kindergarten, and etc. So it was really really tough to be a single mom and combine all these duties. That so. Equal pay for sure, but also this equality at home. So the same division of housework at home, including childcare, would be very good for gender equality. And that is why my last question for this part is about your personal experience, because you are a husband, you are a father, and I know that you really are equal also with your wife at home. So please share with us your personal experience, how you deal with gender equality on your daily basis.
Um, I try to do it, but I'm not sure is it working such an equal
So next
in
time we
my
will invite your wife as well.
yeah, for sure. It will be much better speaker than me, because it's quite hard to judge myself in this situation. But I was one of the father from the 1% at the time who spent several months with my younger son when he was free. He has a 3 month only, and we stay together next 9 months because. I was quite sure that my wife should come back on the labor market quite fast, and she has some projects on the science level, and it was very important for her to finish them. And it was a great time at home, a time of rethinking some way of thinking about my life, about my career, about that how our family works. But at the same time, when we have we've got a first child, we have the traditional situation when my wife spent her whole year in home taking care by our elder son, and that has a huge impact on her career. Quite the same story like yours. And on the second chance, we do not want to do it the same. We try to change it and make it different, and it works. And I'm glad that I have such opportunity. And from my perspective, all of fathers should try to do it, to understand those issues and those harmful situation which mainly has a women in Poland, to understand what is going on about taking care about the home, about making shopping every day, taking care about the childs, and so on, so on. It's not so easy. It's much different than our professional work, and we need to understand, on ourselves, during our activities, how it works.
Yeah, but there are also benefits coming from it. Yeah, like when you are a full day or full-time father.
Yeah, especially the relation with my younger son is a little bit different than with elder one. I understand him well, and for it's quite funny because when he gets around 8 months, he start to say "daddy," and for 1 year he cannot say "mommy," and he also called my wife as a daddy. So it was quite funny situation, and it was the improvement and some kind of example why it's worth because I was waiting for the first daddy with the elder one such a long time. So I'm just laughing right now, but for sure this is a time of the learning, empathy, multitasking, all of those soft skills, which is also very important in our professional life. So this is one of the greatest chance to focus on some young person who are not eating well, not talking with you, just screaming, but you need to understand him, to help him, to support him, and it's very important to find some other skills which you have inside of you, but it's quite hard to find them at the very beginning. But after a few months, it's getting normally, and for the future, for the next challenges, it's much easier when you get it on the very beginning.
So let's hope and encourage other fathers to follow you, because you are like a male role model. As you said, 2 years ago, it was 1% of fathers on paternity leaves. And now, 2 years later, we have 15%. So we see a huge rise, but still it's not enough. And together with, we are working together with Share the Care Foundation on it, on equality at home, equality regarding child care. And I can tell you that also we have stereotypes, because I don't know if you remember when we were children, it was such a campaign. In Polish, it was Poczytaj mi mamo, so read me mom. And now we are doing the campaign that reads too. So even in our heads, we have to change our, behaviors and stereotypes that we were used to. Yeah.
Yeah, still we have such examples in some books that father are coming back from work to home, and the mom preparing their some dinner or something like that. It's still in current books, and I'm trying to laugh about it with my child. My wife also added that she could be driver of Formula One or something like that, because in lots of books for the young boys, there are a lot of cars or some stuff for the builders or so on, and there are not so many women on those drawings, but for sure this is some kind of problem, because those stereotypes are so hard that when you are thinking about the family rooms in some shopping mall or somewhere outside of your home, and you want to find a place to take care about your child, on most of such a family places, you have the sign only with women, or some of those places are in women toilets. So on my perspective, there was some kind of issue, because sometimes I have a huge problem to find some place to take care about my child when we were in such a places.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, thank you, Andrzej.